Hello, 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 welcome back to the Saba show, and today we've got round 12 and 13, a little merger of the Dice Footy Championships. Obviously 6 games per round for rounds 12, 13 and 14, so I thought I'd merge 2. These are the results from last round, and these are this is the ladder after round 11. You can see, as we mentioned last episode, fair spread now. Some teams are struggling, cough cough the Crows, and some teams are flying, cough cough the Bulldogs. But without further ado, let's just hop into this week's round of fixtures. So we start things this week with the Bulldogs and the Cats, two sides on either end of the table. However, the Bulldogs start quite opposite. I don't know why the things centralised now. But the Cats have started significantly better. This is really jarring. I'm going to fix this. Okay, all fixed up. Second roll for the Dogs for the second quarter, and they do much better than how they performed in the first. Let's have a look. And the Cats lose their lead. Their very good lead that they had at quarter time. All their work is undone, and the Bulldogs have just put the foot down in the last 2 quarters and have kicked 80 points in the next 2 quarters. Let's see what the Cats do, and it doesn't have as much flair, as much zing as the Bulldogs have done in the last couple of quarters. The Bulldogs close this one out with a 4-goal performance. Stop putting me there. And that's a pretty good win by the Dogs. After a very slow start, they were able to get that lead back and never looked back. The Cats end up losing this one by about 8 goals. Next game is the Crows taking on the Eagles, and the Crows desperately need a win. I mean, they've started absolutely poorly. I mean, 1-10, you're not coming back from that. I mean, in the world of Dice Footy, anything's possible. The Crows start with a 1-point lead in the first quarter, and second quarter is a little bit different, a little bit of a different fortune for the Crows. They usually tend to just let leads slip away, and it's happened again here. Eagles are up at half-time, and let's see what the third quarter has to offer. Crows, they show a little bit of resilience in that third quarter, which is needed if they want the win, and 1 goal for. And that means the Crows have the lead back. So a bit of back and forth in this game. And the Crows are going to need to kick a big score in the last quarter. And every single time, I jinx them. Every single time they kick 10 points, the Eagles need to kick at least 17 to win. And they get the job done. I mean, the Crows just... Oh, man. I mean, just get them out of the league already. They've been absolutely useless this season. They slumped to 1-11. Next up, we have 2 clubs that are constantly bagged in real life for being shit, but in this world, they are very, very good. However, the Suns basically live up to their real life performances and start very slowly. North, same cannot be said. They lead by 16 points at quarter time. And the second quarter is a good response by the Suns, and they kick 6 goals, 1 in that second quarter. So much needed. North have a very mid-second quarter. They do lead, but only by a solitary point at half-time. Third quarter, 6 goals, 4 for the Suns. You love to see it. 13 goals, 7. That sends them to after 3 quarters. And North Melbourne, 4 goals, 5 for them. So they are losing. They are trailing, but only by 10. So anyone's game to win here. And the Suns live up to the task, and they will be getting the win. North could make it very close, or if they get a high score, but that is not the case here, and they end up losing this one by about 25. And now Melbourne are taking on Sydney, and Melbourne, I mean, they've been at the top before. They've slumped to 11th. I don't know how many games they've lost on the trot, but it can't be great. The Swans have maintained a pretty good ladder position for the majority of the season. However, they do trail at quarter time to the D's. So not a great start by them, and the D's will get themselves to 53 points at halftime. And the Swannies, well, they haven't woken up on the right side of bed. They are trailing by a pretty decent margin at the main break. And the D's, not an explosive third quarter, but, you know, good enough to give them a decent buffer if their defensive performance is good. And it's not too bad. The game is not over. but the D's could end it here, and they do not, so they could easily slump to another loss if they concede 5 goals or more. Here we go. Moment of truth. Swannies, can they kick 5? They do not, and the D's will be picking up some much-needed points to halt that slide, and they will win by 10 points. Next up is Hawthorn taking on Collingwood, and this is a blockbuster game, and Hawthorn begin with 1 goals 2, so not living up to the hype there. The Magpies, 3 goals 5 for them in the second quarter, so that is a much better return on their part. And the Hawks, second quarter is much improved. They advance to 41. They do not have 56 behinds like I inputted for a split second. The Pies, I mean, they've had a great quarter, but I just can't seem to input the values. So 57 plays 41 at halftime, and the Hawks just try to wrestle this one back with a very good third quarter. If they defend strongly, they could see themselves with a lead, but that is far from the case, and the Magpies are up by about 2 goals. They need to kick high again, and they do score well. So this makes it very interesting going into the last quarter. The Pies need to kick at least 23 points, and they kick 5. So Collingwood will be picking up all 4 points in this game as well. It's pretty convincing. Actually, no, it's not. It's a 12-point win. Final game of round 12. It's Fremantle taking on Brisbane, and Fremantle start this one strongly at home. 5 goals 3 on their part. And Brisbane, can they respond? 4 goals 3 for them. They are in the top 4 for the first time this season, which is a testament to their hard work after being in that 10th to 12th placing for pretty much the majority of the season. It's only been the last few that they've decided to wake up, and let's see if they can have the lead at the main break. No, that is not the case. The Dockers have been a bit shitty all season as well, but they can ascend with a win. However, that third quarter is not going to aid them in any way possible in getting the 4 points. And the Lions, can they get the goals required? They do have the lead at 3/4 time. This is going to be a close one, and let's see what the Dice Footy gods have in store. The Dockers end on 72, and you wouldn't think that's going to be enough, but Brisbane could stink it up. They are a choking side, but they defy the haters, and they pick up the much needed 4 points to go even further up the ladder. And we now commence round 13. It is Richmond taking on Port Adelaide at home. And we do not have ladder positions because I'm going to do the table after both rounds are all said and done. So Richmond start off pretty well here. Port Adelaide, 2 goals 3 for them. Richmond do need to win though. I do know that they are on the lower end of the table, but they have started in probably the best way possible, kicking 75, which is going to help you in a lot of ways. And the Power, I mean, they are not living up to their ladder position. They are down by 8 goals at quarter time or half time at the MCG. And Richmond, I mean, this game is pretty much already completed. It was at half time, barring a major collapse. Hang on a second. The Power refused to go away. I do believe they can still win this game if Richmond choke. And oh my goodness, this will be one of the biggest collapses in Dice Footy history. Mind you, it's only been a season. Oh my goodness, they can tie it. 6 behinds. Oh, there we go. There we go. First draw of the season. Imagine choking an 8-goal lead at halftime. The Power have made it happen, and they will be going away with 2 points. Next game of the round is Essendon Carlton, and Essendon will kick things off very abysmally with 1 goals 5 to commence. And Carlton, I know they need to win because they are in the bottom half of the table, and they had a chance to start things very brightly, but unfortunately only the 2 goals for them. However, their defense is really holding them up, and 2 goals 7 for the Bombers. However, they have not been grouse in front of goal either, and they only lead by 14 points despite having held the Bombers to under 20. Can the Bombers make the Blues pay the price? Not a lot in that quarter. However, they still are in this contest, amazingly enough. And the Blues had a number of opportunities to, win this game. However, the Bombers, I mean, they're giving Carlton every single opportunity possible to win this game. If the Blues choke this, I am finished with life, and they make sure that I will live another day, and they pick up the much needed points. They do win this one by 4 goals. Next up is Fremantle taking on Hawthorn at Optus. We kick things off in this game with a lot of inaccuracy by Fremantle. Obviously a team last season in real life that were notorious for kicking exactly like that. The Hawks start off very well, and they will be looking for 4 as well. I mean, every team's looking for points. What am I talking about? Dockers will be trailing at the half. They've matched Hawthorn with 1 extra roll, and the Hawks will be leading by about 20 points. Third quarter coming up, and gee, there was a bit of lag there, but the Dockers have doubled their goal tally and have 72 at 3-quarter time. And Hawthorn lead by 9 points, so the game is far from over, and let's see if the Dockers can complete the job. Possibly. They're going to need to defend well in this last quarter. Hawthorn are not going to win. They won every step of the way except when the final siren was called, and the Dockers win by 2 even goals. Brisbane taking on St Kilda at the Gabba, and this is going to be a ripper as well. Brisbane start well, 4 goals for in their favour, and St Kilda trail at quarter time. So Brisbane, I do believe they lost last round, off memory, not too sure, probably am wrong, short-term memory kicking in. Brisbane have 10 goals at the halftime siren though, and their backline has been holding up very, very well. 3 goals conceded in that half. And we did see Richmond choke earlier in this round. Did the unthinkable. So let's see if it's going to happen again. Brisbane have shown the symptoms that Richmond showed in that third quarter. However, the Saints did not have the same offensive firepower as Port. So it looks like Brisbane are going to win. They honestly could have kicked anything and they still would have won. Don't break the ton, but do win this game. And St Kilda kick 1 goal, so that just really compounds a really shit performance, and Brisbane win by about 8 goals. Second last fixture of round 13, and it is North Melbourne taking on GWS, and North Melbourne start very, very well here. I think they won last game as well. GWS obviously coming off a bye, need to win this game. You feel they picked up a little bit of momentum, and the bye occurred at the exact wrong time. And this is the result. They have conceded 76 points, 21 scoring shots for North Melbourne, and GWS have stunk it up. They've really stunk it up in this second quarter, or this first half, should I say. North Melbourne will make sure that they get this win. Anything that's not mediocre will do. I've got to add a goal on there. Can't forget that. Otherwise, I will get called out for it. And GWS, I mean, there's an improvement on that first half, but too little, too late. If you play shit for 2 quarters in AFL or even Dice Footy, you are going to be punished. And North have kicked a solid 140 for like the 3rd time this year, and GWS consolation goals at this point, but they do lower the margin a little bit. They still lose by about 60. Last game of the round, and it is Collingwood taking on the D's in the Queen's Birthday Clash, and Collingwood start in a pretty bad fashion. The D's, can they respond? 2 goals 5 for them, and that gives them a slender 7-point lead at the first change. Second quarter for the Pies, and it hasn't been great, to say the least. And the D's, can they capitalise on what was a really good defensive first half? No, they cannot. They've actually ended up 1 worse than the Pies, and they trail at the main break by about 11. This is an incredibly boring Queen's Birthday Clash. Not living up to the hype in any way. Collingwood have 45 in 3 quarters, but the D's, I mean, their greatness is going to arrive at some point, and there it is in full flight, and they lead by 21. The Pies do not even get to the D's 3-quarter time score, and will only have kicked 8 goals in the entire game, and the D's can actually pile on the goals and get some much needed percentage, which is ever valuable. Alright, so after a lot of editing, here is the ladder, and here are some of the results from round 13, as well as all the results from round 12. And then here are the rest of the results for round 13. You can see the ladder as it stands now. We have some new entrants. Once again, obviously this ladder is a little bit skewed, given some teams have played 12 and some have played 13. The Crows have the most abysmal record I've ever seen. Some guys have boosted their percentage. You can see Port Adelaide are in 3rd position over all the other teams on 7 wins, based off that draw that they picked up against the Tigers. The Lions and the Bulldogs are well clear of the rest of the pack, and you can see that the bottom half is a little bit more separated from the top half now as it stands. A few teams look like they're just falling a little bit away, going from about 14th place. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. We've got round 14 next week. It will be a shorter video. Obviously, this was much longer, but I hope you enjoyed the extended content. So I will see you then. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.